We are facing unprecedented challenges to our democracy. U.S. is facing these challenges. Canada is facing these challenges. Europe is facing these challenges. Democracies around the world are, and there are several of them. One is the fact that Russia and China in particular have found that cyber attacks are cheap, and they've invested in them, and they are committed to doing this for the foreseeable future. Secondly, in the United States, we are polarized. We're divided more than we've been in a long time, and therefore susceptible to propaganda. Thirdly, our government and our companies, the social media platforms, the technology platforms, are not cooperating and working with each other to take down disinformation like they were in 2020. It's worse than it was in 2020 and 2024. So that's a big challenge. And then lastly, we have this introduction of AI and regenerative, capability AI that can imitate voices of U.S. presidents and potentially disrupt turnout and do all kinds of harmful things to voters who may be susceptible to this. So we are in uncharted territory, and we are facing challenges on a scale and volume that we've never faced before. We have this grand experiment, America, that it's not military leaders in charge, it's not kings and queens, it's not, a monarchy. It is the average man and woman that's in charge here. And they run our government, they tell the government what to do, but they have to be so-called enlightened with good information. When bad information comes into the system, when propaganda comes in, when false information comes in, that is highly destructive to our system for many, many reasons. So we've got our work cut out for us, but we've got a great long history of success in America to overcome challenges and obstacles. And I think we all remember Abraham Lincoln's great words that democracy is something you have to fight for every single generation. It's not taken for granted.
The state of this democracy is teetering. I mean that. We forget. We're what? We're 3.5 years removed from a presidential election where the losing candidate literally tried to overthrow an election. I mean, think about that. And my former party. And right now, 70 to 80% of my former political party does not believe Joe Biden won. I think America today is still the world's oldest democracy. We're no longer the world's greatest democracy. And maybe it's because we're so old. This country is extremely divided. I went to Congress 8-10 years ago, and even at that point, I wondered, can we stay together? Can this experiment stay together? Here we are 8 to 10 years later, and we've got people in states who want to secede. People within states who want to secede from their state and create another state. This is a really divided country right now, dangerously divided. It's so hard to combat the disinformation and misinformation, the lies and the conspiracies that are out there right now, because it's hard to reach everybody. Because again, everybody is going somewhere different to get their news. 80% of my former political party doesn't believe Trump lost. And they don't. And again, I was a Trump supporter at one time. I still engage with these people all the time. They don't. Most of those people, no matter what the result is in November, won't believe it if he loses. A democracy dies if the people no longer accept the election results. We have elections every 2 years. It's like the silent pact we have with each other. We work our asses off to win. If our candidate doesn't win, we all agree to accept the winners and the losers. It's like the heartbeat of a democracy. And if you destroy that process, if you get to a point where half of this country, we talk about election results, but if you get to a point where half this country doesn't accept the will of the people, then that heart stops beating. Then the democracy is done. And we're at a point right now where the heart is on life support. I really believe that.